superhero is nothing without a supervillain. And our latest supervillain appears without warning in the murky swamps of Florida's Everglades. This is the first encounter between mankind and the lizard.
Recall! This swamp is mine!
What is it?
A giant lizard, but it talks!
It walks like a man. Whatever it is, it's attacking us. Look! Bullets don't stop it!
You dare defy the lizard? You'll pay for that folly!
He snapped that huge tree as if it were cardboard. Run! We've got to get away from here! Boy, he doesn't have to tell me twice.
Flee, puny humans! This swamp is mine! Here, the lizard reigns supreme!
Like wildfire, the reports of the human lizard spread throughout the Everglades, the state, and the entire nation.
They say it walks and talks like a man!
It has the strength of a dozen bulldozers. Bullets cannot harm it. What is it? Who is it? Nobody can ever track it down. Nobody would dare invade its dark domain. Even as far north as New York, the name of the lizard is on everyone's lips.
Extra! Read all about the lizard! Extra! Extra!
I'd like a paper too, but I'll get it my own way. What kind of a cornball gag is this? Every publicity-mad nut and his brother try to challenge me to something or other. Well, I'll change to Peter Parker and go see Mr. Jameson. Maybe he'll send me to Florida to snap some photos of that lizard character.
You're out of your mind, Parker. I just printed that challenge headline to sell papers. The lizard is probably just a phony anyway. I'm not paying you to waste time.
But if Spider-Man does fight him, think what a scoop we could get.
Don't make me laugh. If there really is a giant lizard down south, Spider-Man will never tackle him. He'd rather stay here, fighting two-bit hoods and making a rep for himself.
I should have known old Hatchet Face would turn me down.
Now get out of my office and stop wasting my time.
Oh, too bad, Peter. I think he should have sent you to cover the lizard story. It might be a real scoop.
Thanks, Betty. I sure wish you were the publisher, instead of just being his secretary.
Next day, at the Natural History Museum.
I figure it won't hurt me to learn all I can about lizards, just in case. So I might as well start with the biggest ones, the dinosaurs.
Hey, Liz, wouldn't you know we'd find Bookworm Parker here?
Hush, Flash, I want to hear the lecture.
If their intelligence had matched their size, they might still rule the Earth today. Their hides were so thick that if they lived today, no gun smaller than a cannon could injure them.
My spider sense is tingling. Those two men coming in. It's due to them.
No one saw us take the idol's ruby. Now let's scram. They lived in or out of water. They could crush a present-day tank.
They've stolen something. I can sense it. I have to follow them.
I don't like the way that kid's looking at us. Me neither. Come on. He's harmless. He's going in the other room. Lucky for him. If he came any closer, I'd have let him have it.
I'll duck in here and change to Spider-Man. There's not much more I can learn about dinosaurs, and this is a lot more fun. Uh-oh. What's the commotion out there? It's the guard. He's chasing those two. He saw them steal something. But they pulled a gun. Seized one of the kids. It's Liz.
Okay, so you saw us grab that ruby. But we're getting out of here anyway. And we're taking this gal with us for protection.
Please, let them go. Don't try to stop them. They seem so desperate.
You two won't get away with this.
I'll say they won't. I see that Flash Thompson, Liz's loudmouth date, isn't doing her any good. But Bookworm Parker has a few tricks up his sleeve. Hold it, boys! You're missing one of the most interesting exhibits, namely me.
It's Spider-Man! What do we do now?
I'll answer that question. You hit my eager little fist with your big, strong chins. Like this.
Spider-Man, you saved me from those two gunmen.
The pleasure was all mine, Blue Eyes. I'm just enough of a show-off to enjoy these little incidents. But I'd better cut out before someone wonders where Peter Parker is.
Liz, come on. Snap out of it. This is Flash. Don't you remember me?
Flash? Flash who? All I can remember are Spider-Man's strong arms around me.
Made it. And nobody even missed me.
He saved me. He called me Blue Eyes. I'll never forget him.
Oh, nuts. Competition like you I can handle, Parker. But what do I do about Spider-Man?
Just one thing, pal. Worry.
At that moment, a boy passes by, listening to the news on his transistor portable radio.
The nation wonders why Spider-Man has avoided going after the lizard.
That settles it. I've got to find a way to get Jameson to send me to Florida.
Who's that?
Well, it's not Fats Domino. Hands off your intercom, Jonah, old chum. Let's keep this nice and private.
I've got to get out. Get help!
Hold it, Smiley. Where's your hospitality? Now, Jameson, you've been writing editorials against me, talking on radio and TV against me, and you know something? I'm beginning to think that you don't like me.
Let me down!
What's the rush? I have a news item for you. I'm going to accept the Lizard's challenge. So if you want to see what I can really do, you'd better send a photographer to Florida to cover the story. As for my web, it'll loosen in a minute and you'll come down. And boy, will you come down. That does it. Now I have to hope he's convinced enough to send Pete Parker to Florida. Because I haven't enough money to get there by myself. Some superhero I am. Too broke to buy a plane ticket to meet a new enemy.
Miss Brandt! Stop gaping and call Peter Parker! I want to see him here at once! But first, put some soft cushions on the floor under me.
Yes, sir.
Ow! Never mind those damn cushions!
Aw, poor gentle Jonah.
Peter, where have you been? Mr. Jameson has been looking everywhere for you.
No wonder he didn't find me. I haven't been everywhere. You know, Betty, I've been wanting to ask you something.
Yes, Peter?
Parker, get in here!
Never mind. We'll talk later.
I've decided to send you to Florida after all, to try to get some pictures of the lizard. And Spider-Man, if he shows up.
Oh, that's great. When do I start?
Start packing now. We're leaving as soon as possible.
We're leaving?
That's right. It's such a big story that I'm going with you.
I'm not taking any chances of a slip-up. Besides, I can use a trip to Florida.
Oh, brother. If he tags along, how will I be able to keep switching from Pete Parker to Spider-Man? I'll have to get permission from my Aunt May.
You want to go to Florida? With that horrible lizard running around loose down there? Oh, no, Peter. It's out of the question.
But Mr. Jameson is going with me.
You mean J. Jonah Jameson, the nice man you do part-time work for? Oh, in that case, I suppose it's all right. I know he'll take good care of you.
He's like a big, fat guardian angel, Aunt May.
What are you lugging there, Parker?
A lot of clippings about the lizard and maps of the area where he's been seen.
Glad to see you're thinking ahead, Parker. You haven't sold me too many sensational pictures lately. You better not disappoint me this time.
Oh, perish forbid. Dr. Connors, the reptile expert, lives near the Everglades area. He might be of some help.
Finally, at the airport in Florida.
I'll go and get some fresh film and equipment while you get settled in the hotel.
Make it snappy. Why didn't you buy that junk in New York instead of doing it here on my time?
Because then I wouldn't have a chance to change to Spider-Man. That's why. The lizard area is blocked off by armed patrols. I wonder what kind of blip I'd make on a radar screen.
But although he is not detected by radar, Spider-Man is observed by something far more dangerous. The eyes of the lizard.
Enemy coming. Must hide, then attack.
I don't like it. It's too quiet here. Unnaturally quiet. It's a creepy feeling. Huh? My spider sense is starting to tingle. But I don't see anything. My foot! Something grabbed me from behind! Something powerful! I can't keep my balance! It's him! The lizard! Oh, lizard or not, a glob of mud pushed in his face ought to slow him down a little. Whew, I'm out. Couldn't have held my breath much longer. Uh-oh, he's out too. Still can't figure out who or what he really is.
This swampland is mine. I have warned the world, but you dared to invade my domain, and so you are doomed.
Sure. Every time I turn around, I get doomed by someone else. He's fast. His tail almost got me that time. Strange. He doesn't seem to be wearing a disguise. That grotesque form is really him. I'd better knock some of the fight out of him. If I can just hang on to his tail. Suffer in spider webs. He's a dozen times stronger than I thought. Boy, when I make a mistake, it's a beaut. Look out below. Oh, he threw me almost half a mile. Lucky these trees broke my fall. Say, That must be Dr. Connor's house. He's the reptile expert I wanted to see. I'd better warn him how near the lizard is. Gosh, that woman in there. She's crying. I don't see Dr. Connors around. Well, I've got to speak to the woman. Warn her of the lizard.
Spider-Man!
Don't be afraid. I'm here to help you. I wanted to talk to your husband and ask his advice about reptiles, but there's no time now. You've got to leave. The lizard is nearby.
Leave? Oh no, you don't understand. My husband, Dr. Curtis Connors, is the lizard.
What?
Let me explain. My husband was a surgeon. He lost his right arm during the war. Ever since then, he has studied reptile life. He became one of the world's leading authorities on reptiles.
If a lower order of life, such as certain types of lizards, lose a leg, or any base extremity, they often simply grow a new one. If only I could learn how it is done and apply the secret to humans. Think what it would mean. A man might grow a new pair of legs or arms, perhaps even new eyes or a new heart. I've got to find the secret.
Oh, Curtis, if only you could. Curtis Connors was a good husband, a good father. His son, Billy, adored him, and so did I.
Daddy, what are you working on now?
Something to make you proud of me, Billy. Something to help all mankind.
After months of experimentation,
The serum which I extracted from my experimental lizards worked. That rabbit grew a new leg within an hour. Now, all that remains is for me to try it on a human. And what better subject can there be than myself?
Curtis, are you sure it's safe? Curtis! He drank the bubbling serum before I could stop him. And then...
My right shoulder. Such a strange sensation. I feel life returning.
And then...
I've done it. I've grown a new arm. This is the greatest medical feat of all time.
But the change didn't end there. No. The hand, the arm, all of Curtis Connors began to change. Until...
What has happened to me? What have I done?